Welcome everybody to this internal learning session with Poopster. This session is about how to be a champion ambassador.
Thanks, Neon. I appreciate that. Yeah, these are, once again, I'm just trying to share my experiences here,
and we appreciate it as well. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm overloaded. I'm kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that you've given, actually. So,
Sorry.
I was hoping GM Steele would be here as well, because he's been leading the charge with the mentorship team, and hopefully we're going to go into the wild starting from next week with those recruits that have completed the Moodle courses. Okay, I'm just trying to see how many recruits we've got here. We've got a few. That's good. Deadcoin, do we have a plan yet of which layer 2s we're going to target next week?
I had asked a few people, so I'm just waiting for responses. I mean, I could throw in a few, but I'm not very super familiar with the L2. I just got on Polygon like 2 months ago, or whenever our DAO moved to Polygon. So I'm really just kind of new to the space, fumbling around.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we start that with and pick Poopster's brain to start with in terms of layer 2s and which projects on there, which chain and which projects
Absolutely
which would be a good fit with outcome.
Because that's who I follow. That's all of the L2s that Poopster has brought up are the ones that I am currently roaming around in.
There's so many that people don't even know about. It's amazing how many different chains there are out there now. And even L1s. There's people are developing all these different layer 1 blockchains. It's really impressive.
Do you think that'll spread too thin? The hidden ones, like you were talking about, there's like millions of dollars in there. I'm like, whoa, I never even knew this thing existed.
I doubt it. I think that, some of these obscure ones will get a little bit of attention, but for the most part, I think that we're seeing where the future of L2s or side chains, whatever you want to say, is going to come from. And I think it's like Arbitrum and Optimism are probably the two favorites, is with Starkware. In fact, Starkware just announced they're airdropping a token to users who use DYDX. Oh God, I can't name many applications on Starkware, to be honest, but ZK Sync, that's another one that I think.
So if you did Gitcoin with ZK Sync, then you might get something, right?
Neon, from almost every airdrop that I've received, there's been something in there with, okay, sorry. Once again, Starknet has just announced they're airdropping a token. ZK Sync hasn't announced anything yet, but there's a lot of, and we've talked about this before, there's a lot of different ways that you can, I think that you can qualify for a ZK Sync airdrop, and some very easy ways to kind of use the network and receive, hopefully an airdrop from it in return. I think the problem right now is nobody wants to dump a token. Nobody wants to come out with a token in the bear market, right? Because it's just going to dump to shit. But I do think that we're going to see a lot. I think we're going to see dominance really from Arbitrum and Optimism. I think those have really become the favorites, and Vitalik really likes both as well. So what Vitalik likes, everybody likes.
If we stick with Arbitrum and Optimism, then which ones, and thinking this from a superhumans and outcome perspective, which ones out there would be a good fit in terms of maybe KPI options or success tokens, range tokens?
Sure.
So forth.
Well, I think we've seen honestly everybody's all of the big kind of DeFi protocols are pretty much now launched on both Optimism and Arbitrum, and that's why both are seeing higher transactions and more TVL. And so I think that honestly, Neon, I think I think there's a ton of opportunity for us in choosing projects on either Arbitrum or Optimism or both. I think that, I think it's really limitless, because I think so many protocols have launched there now that, we can basically pick and choose what we want. I was talking to a friend this morning, and we're heading to Paris on Monday. So we'll be there for ECC is next week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, right. And I was talking to a friend, and the sushi wanted to meet up while we were in. It's a really great. If anybody ever has a chance, and you get to go, it's a really great opportunity. It's an amazing networking opportunity. I've already had so many people reach out and ask if we're going to be there, and it's crazy because this year the whole, as many of you know, I work as in business development for Harvest, and like my whole Harvest finance team is going to be at ECC this year. There's literally, I think there's going to be 6 or 7, 8 of us, and literally the whole the team except for anonymous developers that But yeah, so really looking forward to that. I know that there's going to be a few people from UMA Protocol there as well. So of course, I always love catching up with them. But yeah, I've had so many people reach out, and yeah, if y'all ever have the chance to, you don't even need tickets to the event itself. There's so many free parties and side events every night that it and it's a great opportunity to meet people. So yeah, we had Sushi reach out this morning, and so we're gonna go meet up and network with them once we get to Paris. But anyway, I kind of lost track of what I was talking about, Neon.
Just before we leave that, so even in this downturn, you think it sounds like all these events are still going ahead and still well attended?
Yeah, I can tell you that this event will be, at least. This is one of the, in my opinion, one of the bigger events of the year. I think it's what was one of the first, that started. This will be the 6th year, I think. So I think it started in 2016. But yeah, it's a really amazing event. Like I said, it's like that's a real life ambassador kind of opportunity, Neon. To go meet all these people face to face. Because what happens is once you meet somebody face to face, you can get to be friends with those and get to be, you have somewhat of an intimate relationship at that point. And so, for me, that was the best thing that ever happened to me was going last year to ECC, because I just got to meet so many people, and that helps, when when you need something, you need, hey, we need another integration. You have somebody you can call, or whatever, message that you have a relation that you've met, and you've met face to. I met so many. I'm not trying to pat my whatever, but we met so many teams. Curve Finance, Cheat was there. I got to meet the whole Cheat team. That was great. A lot of our partner protocols. What was it? PyDAO had a lot of Aragon. We had so many different partnerships. That was really great. What was great about last year is that we had these integrations going already. Shapeshift is there. All of the people that we know and kind of chat with online in the Discord servers usually attend these events. In fact, one of the Paraswap guys reached out to me this morning and said, "Hey, are y'all going to ECC? We'd love to chat." And that was really great because we haven't had a chance to meet in person, but we've been chatting online for the last 6 months about KPI options and stuff, right? So, it's a really amazing opportunity to get to network, and just feel really blessed to be able to do it. So, even in this down market, yeah, I think this is the best time, Neon, right? Like you said, kind of head down, and
Yeah.
this is the best time to kind of get ahead, right?
Yeah, just learn and build. That's my mantra at the moment. Just learn and build.
And the other teams are awesome. I met Ross from Yam even at in Denver there, and I met the guys from DFX, and it's super cool to be able to meet them and talk to them, and they're just down to earth people, man. And it was really cool to hang out. I think we hung out with Ross Poopster was there too at the when we had dinner. Yeah, it's just really super cool to be able to meet those people and just to have that, be able to say hi and have that face inside your head and be able to chat with them. It's really something.
It is. It's like we met a lot of people at Deadcoin. I forgot about Denver. We got to meet a lot of people there as well. There was so many teams there. The guys from Geyser were there, which was pretty cool. That's another little project I work with from time to time. And I don't know. If you ever have
side issue, I keep thinking of Geyser because they came and did a great internal learning session for us. And in terms of ambassadorship, have we done anything with them, or are we planning to do something with them?
No. So the deal there is for the most part is I've been trying. This is what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to get the Geyser team to kind of build stuff in unison with UMA protocol or on top of UMA protocol. So that's kind of the partnerships I've been seeking. Neon, if you can find a way to make something work, like they're more than happy to work with us. They love the team here and they love working with them. And they did build a portal for us, in which anybody can mint KPI options and then immediately stake them on the Geyser web portal, right? So we do have kind of
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we do have that opportunity.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm. So they developed that, and there's been some other things that they've kind of worked on together. Just some kind of random ideas, but
have they moved to layer 2 at all?
Yeah, Geyser's on Polygon. We're trying to get on Optimism, but yeah, Polygon and mainnet for right now, and Optimism is the next step. So we're currently seeking a grant from Optimism Foundation, and so that like I was saying, and they're a very small project.
Harvest or
I'm sorry, no, guys. I say we. I feel like I'm a part of the team or something. It's just I've been no Geyser is what I was talking about. Yeah, because I do participate kind of with the team there quite a bit. But
so could it be a one for some of the recruits to go into Geyser and research it out and see what we could do with them?
So if we could find, Neon, if we could find a use case, if we could and like I said, that's something that's I've been working towards that for the past year now, and haven't been able to really be super successful with it. But yeah, if we can find like a good use case, and people would need to understand what Geyser is. And like you said, Devin did come in and do a great job with kind of the ILS they led, and he's happy to come back and lead more as well. Like he doesn't have a problem doing that. So he's kind of an ambassador for the project.
Because I see that as a warm connection already. It's not like a cold calling. You're not going like a brand new thing. So
yeah, well, that's like I said, when and once you know these people like face to face, like I got to hang out with Devin in Denver, what Deadcoin was talking about, and it was really So now I know I've met the whole team. We've hung out. We have these relationships, and so I can just call on. I just met. They're my friends now, right? And that's the way I kind of look at being an ambassador. Is I'm here to make friends with people. And,
is there a way we could use the use Geyser as like have a third party come in, like offer KPI options, and then say they could use them this certain way with if they went to Geyser and minted them and put them in use Geyser as a way to distribute them or however that works, put the two teams together?
If there's something there, Dick, I'm more than like I tried to organize something like that between Qidao, and it got really complicated, right? Like it got several layers deep. So, once you get there, you have like security concerns and things like anyway. But I think that rather than, trying to find like a puzzle piece that, trying to like force something, I think it's better to look for naturally occurring. But I'd love to have other people put eyes on the project and see what they've built. And, if they can come up with any ways to use the protocol along with any of our KPI options or range tokens or anything else, then like, yeah, I'm happy to present that and kind of be an ambassador for both projects and try to help facilitate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you can, like you're saying, stake the KPI options, maybe somebody would want to mint the KPI options and then stake them on Geyser. So yeah, maybe I'll have to look into that and see if there's some kind of way that would work for some people.
You can do that now. Like I said, you can mint KPI options directly from their website and stake them on the website. So yeah, I think it's really just finding a use case for that and promoting it or trying to facilitate, the parties getting together and working on really just, as you know, I mean, it's really easy to mint KPI options. All you got to do is submit your collateral, or once the collateral is approved, we submit it and.
And is it on mainnet, or is it on? You can do this on Polygon as well.
You can do it on both. Yeah, they're on mainnet and Polygon. They launched on mainnet and then launched on Polygon about a year later.
Sure. I think that would be a
great.
Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. I see what you're saying. Is I'm not to. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure if you can mint on Polygon. I would think you probably can. I think you could. I would say yes. You can probably mint on both. There may be something they need to. Let me ask about that, Neon. That's a good question.
Sure.
I think for right now it's probably just mainnet, but I think that we could port it to Polygon pretty easily. If I'm not a developer, so I don't know. I need to ask them about it. That's a good idea, though. That's a good question.
I think this would be a really good kind of task for the recruits to do some research on. I think it was a shame Gem still can't make it now, but we're having a mentorship meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. UTC, I think it is, and we'll talk about it, about having little teams, and they will go and do the research. And so this would be like a very good one to research, Geyser.
No, I agree. I agree with you because, like I said, there's already that relationship and the want to work together. So yeah, I think that if we could find something useful, it would be a good match for us. And we can make it happen.
Yeah. On Arbitrum, are there any projects that you kind of really like on there?
On Arbitrum?
Yeah.
So.
There's something beginning with GMX.
Yeah, GMX. That's it. Yeah.
I hear people talking about.
I really do like GMX a lot, Neon. It's like a derivatives, or it's not derivative. It's a synthetics trading platform, and basically it allows you to trade Ethereum, Bitcoin, or I think Uniswap or Link. So they have 4 options. You can trade those 4 tokens at anything from 0x leverage all the way up to I think like 50x leverage or something like that. And it's what they do is it's really I love this project. I think it's really interesting the way they've utilized the way they mint these contracts to allow people to go leverage long or leverage short is that they have a pool that has it has USDC, USDT, DAI, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Uniswap. It's an index fund basically, and I think it's really, like, to me it's really interesting the way they've used an index fund as a way to mint kind of like you call it whatever you want, options I guess, but it's not really options. It's just leveraged trading. But yeah, so they have a really slick platform. Like, they've been on Arbitrum the longest. They were one of the very first projects there. They have a lot of traction, and now projects are building on top of them, Neon. So like 1inch is utilizing them. Paraswap is utilized. There's a lot of projects that are building on top of GMX just because they've got this really unique kind of like I said, collateral fund, and they've been so successful. They have, I think they probably have the most TVL of any project on Arbitrum right now, if I had to guess. And yeah, it's I don't advocate for leveraged trading, even though I enjoy like playing around with it myself, you know. So from time to time,
I'm too scared to do that.
yeah, I get it, but like, well, I'm short right now, so you know, it's an easy bet right now because we're headed down. I do really like if you want to play, if you guys want to play around with it and just have a look, all you need to do is change your MetaMask to Arbitrum 1 and go to gmx.io, and that's the website.
People are doing the Arbitrum kind of Odyssey campaign.
Oh, that's right. But they shut that down. They're waiting for Nitro to launch, right?
That's right. That's right. So the next thing will be to do with GMX, and there's another thing that's part of the Odyssey. So
GMX has a good relationship with Arbitrum just because they were such a big project that built on top of them and one of the earliest projects. So I'm on app.gmx.io /earn. And this like is kind of like, so like I was saying, you can mint leveraged longs and leveraged shorts, but you can also play the market maker, which basically means you deposit to that index fund that I was talking about. And the name of the token is called GLP. That's not the network token is GMX, and it has its own revenues that it draws. But GLP is the kind of like the market maker, the fund from which all the leveraged contracts are minted. So it looks like in GLP right now, it looks like they have 39,500,000. So oh wait, no, I'm looking at that.
I have 163,789,317.
That would be correct.
Is that you personally, the coin?
No, not personally. I wish, but yeah, because I got some GLX too, and I'm in there, or GLP. I'm sorry, and I jumped in there not too long ago.
So you understand what's going on here, right, Deadcoin?
Yes, sir.
Like we're earning yield, and right now it's not a huge yield. It's like, I don't know, 20% or something. But if I have you know, anything in that index fund, like I said, you can deposit Bitcoin, Ethereum, US dollars, or you know, USDT, USDC, DAI, Uni, and Link. And if you have you know, if you have funds in that they earn. So what happens is when somebody mints a contract, there's a portion of those funds that go to the people that are loaning the money. So basically that's what you're doing, is you're kind of loaning other traders your money for them to you know, be degens with, basically. So that's kind of what, like, that's how I like to use the protocol, is just to farm. You know, if I'm going to hold Bitcoin or Ethereum or you know, USDC or if I'm going to hold any of those, I might as well hold this index fund. Now you do need to consider that the index fund has a price, right? Because of course, as the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum go down, it's going to become worth less. But like, honestly, this has lost maybe 25% of its value since I was in at the top. And so it hasn't taken such a huge hit as all these other kind of separate tokens.
That's the point of the index, isn't it? It averages it out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's just a great way to, like, if you're going to hold an asset, I'm earning 20% yield from people that are actually using the protocol, right? Like this protocol sees a lot of volume. So like Deadcoin said, it has 163 million from which options can be. And I don't know if these numbers are, I can't like vouch. I'm not vouching for the protocol. It's a trustless protocol. You can go online and figure it out yourself if you know how to do that. But anyway, yeah, it's just an opportunity, you know, for because while we're sitting here, I don't know if you saw yesterday when the core the CPI's numbers came out. It was like 9.1% inflation. Basically you have to you have to make at least 9% or more just to break even, right? So I figured 20%, I'm making 10%, right? That's winning in a bad market. So anyway,
it is. Yeah.
it's kind of like you have to be defensive. You have to think defensively. It's very different from the bull market we're just in.
Yeah. And in terms of outcome with GMX, is there any kind of synergy there or any kind of
You know
thing
what? That would be really. That's You know what? I never really even thought about it, but that'd be really cool. And this is one team that I've never had the chance to meet. I believe their developers are anonymous as well, but I have gotten to know kind of one of the developers through Twitter. But yeah, I think that would be a really great place to look, just because once again, Neon, there's so many people building on top of GMX. If we can get something in at the base layer, you know what I mean? That could almost it could almost spread out, once all their different partners see kind of them using it. So yeah, I think that'd be an awesome opportunity there. I'd love to. It's a great idea. I never even thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Terrible.
You can see where my angle here is. It's essentially we're going to be sending these recruits to different projects, and I'm just trying to kind of cherry pick a few projects to suggest to GM Steel to direct them towards, so they can. And essentially, what the recruits are going to be doing is purely really research, not really engaging as much, but essentially. Oh, is there someone speaking there?
That's probably just me. Neon, what I think is really what I think is more challenging than actually being an ambassador and kind of like ambassing, right? I think what's more difficult is actually just finding the right partners and use cases for and you need some people to think about, like, how we need some creative ways to utilize KPI options. And I think that for me, like, that would be my main challenge. I think that if you can find something interesting, that it's very easy to present, right? And it's real easy to kind of reach out to a project, and just chat with them. But I think first is finding that use case, and I think that's the most important thing. I think that's what I've found to be the most challenging through being an ambassador. So it's almost like I'd advocate for us having like some big brains, like Gruad or EA Sports or someone like that, to sit down and come up with some different, ideas for ways that we could collaborate with different protocols, specifically, like you said, Arbitrum or GMX or whatever it is.
That's what I like doing. I like doing that part. I don't like the talking to them part because I'm really not good at talking with people. But yeah, that's what I love doing, going out there and just, I could find tons of them, like what they would need it for and how they could use them. It's just approaching them. I'm just not a good talker.
You're a doer. We all have our different roles to play in this. So yeah, but that's crucial, going out and doing the research. And this is why we're getting the recruits to do that initial bit first. I'm guessing that there'll be some who are natural ambassador types anyway that will just go in. I know you said, I don't know if they're here, Amadex and Greatness just went into City DAO and started talking to them as well and engaging with them, which is great. But not everyone has that confidence to do that initially. But it's built over time, and like Poopster says, I think it's trying to build some relationships and just making friends. And you don't really need to talk about business or and kind of just show them
Yeah, Poopster, could you maybe explain to the recruits kind of how you? I'm not sure if everybody knows how like you approach it and how you go in there and just become friends at first and how you work into KPI options into the discussions.
Yeah, I mean, I can try. I can try. Like I said, for me, the most challenging part, Deadcoin, is like finding that use case. So, for the most part, like, I'm not afraid to go into a DeFi protocol, into a Discord server and just start chatting with whoever the team members or whatever is, and I'll tag them and just, like a lot of people think that that's a good. I think that what's really important is kind of identifying in these communities who the community leads are, right? So you'll go from community to community and you'll find, different community members are passionate about different projects, right? And once you find somebody within that community who's kind of like a community leader, has some sort of influence over the community, then I think that's the person that you would want to, I guess, target to kind of make friends with, right? And how does it start out? Well, you go into a Discord server and you just kind of you can introduce yourself or just hang out and lurk and kind of read up and see what you need to understand, kind of what the community is about there, right? What the project is about. So going into the Discord server is always like the easiest way just to get the latest news about what's going on with the project and, who's kind of leading things. And so, that's always like the first step for me is just joining the Discord servers and jumping in and kind of investigating these different protocols and like once you get to do that, you'll get to talking to all these different people, and like I said, you'll make these different relationships just through kind of, and it's a good opportunity for us as well to like learn about different protocols and different opportunities and things like that, right? So I think a lot of it's just kind of learning. Like you need to understand what a protocol does if you're going to go into their Discord. You need to if you need to read the white paper or the Git book, whatever. That's what you need to do. But we can't go into these communities like not knowing what these products do, right? Because then we look stupid. So I think it's really important to kind of understand how the products work in order to go into these communities and be effective, right?
You said before numerous times that you go in there seeking like just being friends, not just going there shilling right off the rip. You said you go in there just become friends first.
Well, no, yeah, right. Like that's and that's the best part about it. Like if you're if you're friends with these people, there's no real pressure on you to like I think it allows you to, like I said, networking allows you to find opportunities maybe even later on that are available. While something may not be apparent right now, maybe down the line something happens, and it's just always good to have those connections. You know what I mean?
What about things like, do you join their Twitter or other kind of resources that you use to find out more about the projects?
Right. Well, like I said, Neon, like for me, the easiest place to go and learn about a project is the Git book, right? And so I'll head to the website and just go into their docs and just kind of, we have a few different primitives in DeFi right now, right? There's a few different kinds of protocols that you can use. There's decentralized exchanges and there's yield aggregators, and then there's asset managers. There's basically 10 different types, let's just say, of DeFi protocols. So most of the time, many of the projects we're looking at are going to be something like that, right? So I think that once again, like I said, Gitbook is always the best place to get a quick overview of what's going on with the project and what it's about, and I think that's very important. But yeah, Twitter, I do love Twitter. I don't follow any of like the shit posting stuff. I try to only follow developers and teams. So that's what's important to me, and that's where like teams are going to put their most important information out because they want to get that out to the public. So yeah, I think Twitter is a great tool if you can learn how to kind of use it properly. You know what I mean? And not spend too much time going down the rabbit hole. That's why I said like it's important not to follow like a lot of these shit posters, and you just get it just becomes a time sink otherwise.
Hey, Coach, are you able to speak at all, or do you want me to read out your message?
Oh yeah, I can speak. I was just curious why Poopster said he hunts down the community lead over everyone.
Well, just because those are the people that are most passionate about the project, and they're going to want to have the project's best interest at heart, right? So if we can show them a way that we can bring value using KPI options, and make that apparent to them, then it's a lot easier for them to get the community on board, right? So they kind of do our job for us, right?
Gotcha, yeah, that makes sense.
That's just kind of that's just my thoughts on it. I'm sure there's like if you've got some other ideas, like I'm open to whatever. This is just kind of how I approach things.
No, I definitely don't have any ideas. I was just thinking within the context of my team lead positions, and like if for like smaller projects, I could see that definitely being beneficial. If we're trying to target larger projects, like say Polygon DAO, for example, I mean, we're completely segregated and we don't even know what other teams are doing. So like approaching the lead community manager within something like the Polygon DAO, you're not really going to get anywhere because we don't have a lot of transparency into what the other teams are doing, what needs to be done, where the help is. Yeah, like in something like that, approaching the community managers or the community leads isn't always the best way to go. And there's generally a partnership team or some sort of a process in place meant to handle it. So it really just depends on the project that we want to approach and how they're structured. But I definitely agree, going through the docs before anything and figuring out what those team structures are, what those processes are, and how things work is a great step. And then figuring out who you need from there. I was just curious why you singled out community leads, because I know from experience that can be pretty frustrating sometimes, depending on the size of the org. Just for somebody who's coming in to approach somebody for a partnership.
No, that's a good point, but like I'll just give an example of so for instance, like when we first engaged ChiDAO, so I don't know, many of you may not have been here when Evan was here, but yeah, like I was looking to do some KPI options with ChiDAO, and all I did was really engage Rathers and Evan, and they actually as most of you know, became like superhumans. And anyway, but yeah, like for the most part, all I did was put the idea in front of them, let them figure it out, and then they were able to kind of influence the community because they're so active there, right? And the community members trust them, right? So that's just kind of an example of how I used it. But you're right, it's going to vary from project to project for sure.
Did you invite them over for like AMA or kind of just a chat in the UMA or how did it work?
That was the old process, like back in the day when I came in and Poopster was coaching me and stuff. One of the first things that we would do when approaching somebody is coordinate an AMA
because
together
they
to
gonna drop.
learn.
They are in a box, like.
The AMA for that is actually over in UMA's And it was YouTube. I recorded that for Chi-DAO.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and it was just like Neon. I was already a part of that. Like I had been a user of Cheetah, so I was already somewhat active in the community and knew a good portion of the community there already. So that's why, like I say, for me, the easiest way to kind of be an ambassador is to find ways to utilize KPI options or whatever we're trying to do with protocols that I'm already using and that I'm already, kind of invested in or passionate about, because those are the easiest ways for me to find value, is because I'm looking for value for my money, right? So, that's where I usually start, is projects I'm already invested in. That's where I look first.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I like that. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. Does anybody else have any questions for Poopster? I think you got some pretty good points over across. I've been taking notes as well. The recording will be available afterwards as well, but I'm going to put the notes together and give to GM Steel for the mentorship team talk tomorrow.
Poopster, which channels do you go into when you discuss, in other, do you look for certain channels? Like I try to tell people to look for if there's a partnership channel or something before you discuss KPI.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like a lot of protocols will have like a different channel set up specifically for partnerships and things like that. Now, like even if you go into UMA protocol, there's channels for collaborations and stuff like that. So I think that's a good point. Like looking to and that's a good thing, because like the Discord Nazis want to keep everything lined out and in the right place, and so like posting in the correct channels is important as well. So yeah, good point.
Anything else from anyone? Oops, any last words? Not last words forever, but last words for now.
No, I appreciate y'all coming. I always love to come in here and just talk. So it's always really like this is the best, most stimulating. This would probably be the most stimulating part of my day, because I get to just kind of talk and empty my mind. So I really appreciate like everybody listening and hanging out and letting me kind of riff for a while.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for that. Decoin, did you want any final words from you?
No, I know I'm missing something that I know I want to ask Poopster about that the recruits could learn, kind of pick his brain a bit, but I can't think of anything right now. But yeah, thank you, Poopster.
We'll have time to pick his brains more, I think, in future. We don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah, like I'm basically free every week, so whenever we have time, I'm happy to come in and chat. And like if any of y'all have any questions or want to jump into the conversation or whatever, feel free to ping one of us or just jump up on the mic and ask. Like that's what we're here for, is to discuss things and brainstorm and find new ideas. And so I appreciate everybody joining in on the conversation as well.
One last question, or not question, but is there anything that what would you tell to a recruit going out to become an ambassador? Like
I said, the number one thing for me, Deadcoin, is just like go into it looking to make friends. Like go into the protocol looking like you're amongst friendly people, right? So most of the people that are involved in these projects are very similar to us, right? We're all really passionate about something that we do, and we have a common purpose, right? We work in DeFi, and so the goal is for me is just to make friends with people, right? And once you have that relationship in place, then it's always much easier to go forward from there, right? So building that kind of friendship, and that's just maybe going in and saying, "Hey, man, I'm Poopster from Harvest Finance, and I was just stopping by. I'm really interested in like what y'all are building here, and just want to stop by and say hey or whatever." And like you'll get engagement from the people who are active there, right? Because they want to engage. So yeah, like that's once again, that's how I look at it. Just going in there to be friendly, and that's it.
Oh, on that note, it's right at the top of our hour. We've done perfect timing today. So thank you all for joining us, and thanks Poopster for words of wisdom again. Next week, we are going to be over at the UMA server, and we've got a project called parcel.money, which does all things finance and how to pay contributors and so forth, coming in to do a demo for us. So that's something to look forward to for next week at 3 p.m. UTC, and it will be over at the UMA. We were hoping to have this one at the UMA, but it didn't quite happen. But next week it will be, the internal learning session will start being on the UMA server. So a bit of cross-DAO love. So thanks all for joining, and catch you next time.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Poopster. Everybody stay super.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, thank y'all. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Very nice.